when you are not 100% fit, when you are trying to get fit for the World Cup, do players actually approach the manager and say, look, this is my goal, I want to go to the international tournament, can you maybe take it easy on me? Is that something that players tell managers?
No, this is interesting. So I live in an area where normally the World Cup comes in the middle of MLS season. So over here, so the players are used to playing in the middle of a season and then going into a World Cup. The players in Europe aren't used to this. But I would say absolutely not, unless your manager, your head coach is your best mate. You don't go and you ask them, can you take it easy because I have a World Cup? You've signed a contract to win games, and every single game is important. On the injury front, I think you have to assess and speak with your medical staff, your strength and conditioning coaches, and also the playing staff, because you don't want a player to break down and miss multiple months of a season, of course. So I think with injuries, you just have to go about it as you would normally. The World Cup. This is it's almost similar to COVID, where something came into the laps of these clubs that they have to deal with, that they've never had to deal with before in Europe. And this World Cup being in the wintertime is one of them. I would say in Germany, they probably have the biggest advantage because they're used to a big winter break, and they'll have some time off after the World Cup as well before they start their season again. But in the Premier League, you're used to going straight through. You're used to having a heavy Christmas and New Year period. Then you start the FA Cup after that. And then knockout stages of the European competitions. It's just game after game after game. And all of a sudden you're adding top level, not just small friendly matches. You're talking about playing against the best players on the globe in a World Cup event that is mentally and physically taxing, and then coming back and having to play your club football again. So I would say the club managers are going to try to win their games and deal with their squad as they normally would. I would say players are just going to try to do their best mentally and physically. I do not think that you find many players asking for rest. And I think the top clubs around Europe have such sophisticated sports science departments that they'll be able to help the players as much as they can with the recovery methods. But this is a season that is unlike any other in Europe so far, with this on how to navigate this World Cup being at the winter.
I think it just means it's just a lot harder to predict. It's a lot harder to call for this World Cup. It's a very interesting perspective, seeing that, yes, we often forget because we're so focused on the Premier League, we're so focused on European football, that we fail to realize as well there's so many other domestic leagues around the world who are playing based on calendar year rather than from the summer over to the next spring. So it's going to be a very interesting World Cup, to say the least.